In May 2021, clashes occurred between Palestinian protesters and Israeli police over a planned Israeli Supreme Court decision regarding evictions of Palestinians in Sheikh Jarrah, East Jerusalem. The clashes, which coincided with the holidays of Laylat al-Qadr and Jerusalem Day, resulted in over 300 people being injured, most of them Palestinian. The attacks drew international condemnation and resulted in a delay of the decision by 30 days. On the 9th of May, Israeli forces stormed the Al-Aqsa Mosque, a major holy site to Muslims, ahead of a flag march by Jewish nationalists. The Supreme Court of Israel was expected to deliver a ruling on whether to uphold the eviction of 6 Palestinian families from the Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood of East Jerusalem on the 10th of May 2021. Claims to Sheikh Jarrah have been a contentious issue for centuries. 2 Jewish trusts bought a section of Sheikh Jarrah from Arab landowners in 1876. During the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, Jordan captured the area. Jordan, with the support of the United Nations, built 28 homes for Palestinian refugees who had fled from the newly formed State of Israel. During the Six-Day War in 1967, the area was recaptured by Israel and ownership of the homes was returned to the Jewish trusts. The Jewish trust sold the homes to a right-wing settler organization, who have since made repeated attempts to evict the Palestinian residents. Under Israeli law, Israelis have the right to reclaim properties in East Jerusalem owned by Jews before the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, but Palestinians do not. Itamar Ben-Gvir, an Israeli politician on the political far right, visited Sheikh Jarrah shortly before the clashes began, where he said that the houses belonged to Jews and told police to open fire on protesters. Agence France Presse reported that Israeli settlers had been seen in Sheikh Jarrah openly carrying assault rifles and revolvers leading up to the clashes. Previous clashes had begun following the Israeli government's closure of the Damascus Gate, a popular place for Muslims to gather during Ramadan. Palestinian protesters were also frustrated with President of the State of Palestine Mahmoud Abbas's decision to postpone the 2021 Palestinian legislative election, believing he had done so to avoid political defeat for his party Fatah. Palestinians and Israeli settlers first clashed on the 6th of May, and were broken up by the intervention of the Israeli police who arrested at least 7 people. Further clashes followed at the Al-Aqsa Mosque. The Palestine Red Crescent Society said that 136 people were wounded across Jerusalem that evening, with the Israeli government stating 6 police officers were also wounded. More clashes occurred on the 8th of May, the date of the Islamic holy night of Laylat al-Qadr. Palestinian crowds threw stones, lit fires, chanted, "Strike Tel Aviv," and "Jews, remember Khaibar, the army of Muhammad is returning," paraded Hamas flags and tore down police barricades on the mount. The Israeli police, wearing riot gear and some on horseback, used stun grenades and water cannons. At least 80 people were injured. On the morning of the 9th of May, Israeli forces stormed the Al-Aqsa Mosque, Islam's third holiest site, injuring hundreds. Palestinians threw rocks, firecrackers and heavy objects, while Israeli police fired stun grenades and rubber bullets. The storming came ahead of a Jerusalem Day flag march by Jewish nationalists through Old City. At least 215 Palestinians were injured, 153 of which were hospitalized. Militants in Gaza fired rockets into Israel during the night. On the 9th of May 2021, the Israeli Supreme Court delayed the expected decision on evictions for 30 days. After an intervention from the Attorney General, Avichai Mandelblit, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu defended the actions of the Israeli police and said that Israel shall not allow any radical element to undermine the calm. He also said, "We firmly reject the pressure not to build in Jerusalem." Israeli officials asked the Biden administration not to intervene in the situation.